Okay, good morning everyone. Thomas Fleming here again. It is raining. It's going to rain for quite a while, probably into the afternoon. It's not a hard rain. This is not the big storm like we had a week or so ago. That may be coming in a couple of days, but it may just be a repeat of this, just a lot of rain this week. So I'm going to try to get this out. I've got the tarp over my door because my door doesn't close because the zipper's broke. Where is it? There it is. And I have a bunch of clamps. I got a whole bunch of these. I got over a dozen of them. And I just clamp it along. So if I want to keep the water out, you just pull it together and then you clamp it. Now the tarp's keeping most of it out. The water that's getting in it right now is just maybe a tablespoonful, and it's only because it's splashing. It's hitting the ground and splashing up into the bottom part. Yeah. One paper towel to cover that, even the cheap ones. Okay, what I want to do is I had stopped reading Revelation at chapter 12, which in my opinion is as far as we go. And the first part of it, the rapture's there. We don't have to deal with anything else after it until Jesus comes back with his saints, of which we will be a part of. We see at the end of the seals that there's a multitude of people that survive the tribulation there, and they're in heaven. Thus the other rapture. And some of them have been killed, martyred, but some have survived the tribulation. That's the key. They have survived all the way through to the end. Now, that's not all of us. We're going to get out in the beginning, pre-trib. There's a rapture at the middle and a rapture at the end. And that group that's in there at the end of the seals, let's see, and 8 is seal number 7. So if you back up to 7, towards the end of 7, I just talked about that in the last video, I think, or the one before that. It's all there. It doesn't change. God doesn't change. The Bible doesn't change. So I'm going to pick up after 12. And I think 12 is another vision. So in 13, then I stood on the sand. This is 13:1, Revelation. I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea. The world, basically, having 7 heads and 10 horns. We've talked about that before. 7 heads, that's the harlot. 10 horns, that's the Antichrist. And on his 10 horns, 10 crowns, and on his heads are a blasphemous name. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard, like his feet were like the feet of a bear, his mouth like the mouth of a lion, roaring. The dragon gave him the power, and the dragon Satan, his throne and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as if had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshipped the dragon who gave authority to the beast. This last weekend they had a big satanic get-together in Boston. A parade, a party, whatever they had, I don't know what it was. They normally don't do this out in public. They're getting so daring. They can just go out there and say, "Hi, we worship Satan and we don't care if you like it or not. We're here to take over." They're getting so arrogant. And they're not going to listen. They're not going to listen to us. Hopefully you can pick, some off the edges. But the core believers, they're so ingrained into Satan that they're not going to change. and they're going to be the ones that are harvested out with the sickles. We'll see that here in a bit, maybe. And I saw one, okay, a bit mortally wounded. So they worship the dragon. Who was like the beast? Who was able to make war with him? Well, the beast is multiple countries. It's not one. I mean, the harlot is the 7 heads, kings, if you will. They are kings. And the 10 horns are leaders, but not kings. They will be given a kingship for a little while. It says for an hour. But the 7 heads are kingdoms, kings. The United States would be one. I'm sure UK is one. Okay. And he was given, and he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months. That's 3.5 years. Now, is that the first half of the trib or the second half of the trib? Since these are all visions that are vignettes, they're not complete. They don't have everything that's going on, but they look at a particular topic. Okay. Continued to blaspheme against God and to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. It was granted him to make war on the saints and to overcome them, and the authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation, the world. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life. The book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So, if you're a Christian, this doesn't apply to you. He's been given authority to kill and to go after everybody else. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay. I'm now in 13:11. Then I saw another beast coming up from the earth. He had like 2 horns, like a little lamb, and spoke like a dragon. This is the false prophet. It's big enough now and established enough now that the whether it's the current pope or a new one or someone from his regime, I don't know. The current pope is definitely in the running for all the things that he's saying. But the false prophet is the religious side of this. The beast is the earthly side, the government. They're one big round thing, order. Okay, and he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast. So he's a cheerleader for Satan's beast. Not Satan, I mean, he is for Satan, but he's down here on earth with the beast. The first beast whose deadly wound was healed. The leader, the Antichrist, pre-Antichrist, is killed, resurrected, takes on the spirit of the Apollyon, and now is the Antichrist. And he performs, now the false prophet, he performs great signs so that even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. He will be able to perform miracles. I need to shave more. I cut most of the beard off down here. It's just getting too much. But now I got to go do the scrape and clean bit. There's no hot water in this building over here. I have to go all the way to the other side. So I'm waiting for him to fix the hot water. The trials of my stay out here. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth, by whose signs which he was granted to do the signs of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image of the beast, who was wounded by the sword and lived. He was granted power to give breath to the image and to the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. So the false prophet's going to have people killed too. He causes all, both small, great, rich, poor, free, and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand and on their foreheads, and that no one may, turning the page of slightly damp pages, I'm getting there, no one could buy or sell except one who has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him understand. Calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, which is 666. Everybody from the beginning of this writing until today have been trying to guess what that number is. Since it doesn't say here what it really means, you're not going to figure out until it's here. And you may not figure out until you look back and go, okay, now I see. God, when he wants you to know something, he puts it down in writing very plainly. When he doesn't, he gives you clues so that you can look back and go, okay, yeah, he did know what he was doing. There's so many prophetic writings in the Bible that are that way. The people of the time didn't understand. When they talked about Jesus back then, they didn't understand it. The scribes and Pharisees of the Sadducees and the Pharisees didn't understand when Jesus was here. But his people that he taught recognized what he was talking about. Okay, that's 13. And then I looked, and behold, a lamb standing on a mount of Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written on their forehead. They've been sealed. These are Jews. This is a Jewish time. They're on the Mount of Zion, on Mount Zion. We're not here. This is during the tribulation. And more than likely, all of 13, and probably part of 12. We're gone in 12 in the early part when we're raptured. So everything after that is probably the tribulation starts somewhere between 12 and 13. When it says the 42 months, he was given the power to reign for 42 months. That's during the tribulation, so that runs across the middle, across the abomination of desolation. Could it be just before that? It could be. We know he's not going to complete the second 3.5 years, because Jesus, in the visions here, tells him that if he didn't cut the days short, nobody would live. So the first half is 3.5. The second, we're not exactly sure. Right smack in the middle is the abomination of desolation. And that's where the Antichrist steps in to take power and claims to be Jesus or God. Now, he's not doing this with the harlot. The harlot's already been killed. Once again, all these visions encompass the entire amount of time left. So we're not going to be. We're going to be pulled out in Revelation 12. That's the rapture. That's the pre-trib rapture. Now, other people have associated that with every rapture on the book. They've associated it with we're all going to Mars and live happily ever after and play with Ouija boards. There are so many people out there, so many false prophets, you can't even keep track of them. Just walk away. Don't even try to discuss things with them. You're not going to win an argument. There was an old expression that we used to have when we had inspectors come in to inspect jobs, inspect work and things, the government type inspectors. And he says, there's no sense in wrestling with them. It's like wrestling with a pig. After a while, pretty soon you realize they like it. So you're not going to be able to wrestle with these guys. If they don't have Jesus in them, then they've got a demon. No one's big enough on this earth to have Satan indwelling them, other than the beast. And he's not directly, he's Apollyon. But the bottom line is, you can't win an argument with Satan. He's got to come back for everything. The only way you could win with him is if you had to come back for everything, and we're not that good. Jesus could do that because he is that good. But don't think we're that good. Even when we're trying to follow Jesus, there's no point. If they're not in the book of life, you're not going to win them over anyway. And until things get so bad that they realize that their God, little g, can't help them, that's when they're going to look to big G, God. They're either going to do one of two things. They're going to accept Jesus and come over to the right side, or they're going to get mad at God and start blaspheming him. And we're told that they will do that throughout the tribulation time frame. The world will get mad at God. It's all your fault. You did all this. You hate mankind. Why don't you let Satan run things? He knows how to do things. He knows what we want. Well, he does, from an earthly point of view. And Satan could give you this world and everything in it. He can make you the most powerful person in this world. But when your time is up, when your earthly time is up, you're not going to go to heaven. You're going to go with him. Just look at what he promised Jesus when he was tempting him. He promised him everything. He promised to give him food, take care of him, give him the land, give him the people, everything. Jesus knew who he was and where he was going. That's what you need to know. You need to know who you are. You're a Christian. You belong to the creator of the universe. He's going to take care of you. He loves you. He loves all of us, all Christians. Now, he loves mankind as a general principle, but he certainly doesn't like what mankind does. And that's the way you're supposed to be. You're supposed to love the sinner, hate the sin, as the expression goes. But we don't have a lot of time, so don't waste your time on people that don't have a chance. Now, it's not up to you to decide. You don't know what's in a person's heart, and you don't know whether their name is in the book of life, so you've got to try. But it says to try. It doesn't say find someone and stick with them until they become a Christian. And if that takes the rest of your life, then that takes the rest of your life. No. When he told the disciples to go to door and talk to people, he said if they welcome them and brought them in and gave them food and water, tell them about Jesus and bless the house when you leave. If they don't want to do any of that because they know who you are, wipe the dust off your feet and move on. But stay connected both places. This one can't rule things, and this one can't rule things. The Spirit uses both. But it's the Spirit that does the leading, and you follow. You're a servant to the Spirit. And what he's going to give you to do is something you're capable of doing. We're not going to have to worry about dealing with the mark. We will be gone. We may know indirectly who the Antichrist is. He's going to be one of those heads that stayed in that beast image. He's going to be the seventh. He's going to be killed and come back as the eighth. See, he's going to be one of these powerful leaders in the world. Which one? I suspect it will be somebody who has a good earthly image. I talk about, and I know it's his wrong name, but I use it because I can get away with it, Charles Schwab. It's not his real name. His first name is very, very German. But I can't say it. I get filtered. And it's not Squab, but I think he's chicken. He's hiding behind everybody else. But that's Satan. Satan's chicken too. He can't win. He knows he can't. So he's hiding behind all these other people down here doing his dirty work for him. When he does come down here in Revelation 12 trying to get us, God shows he's more clever than him again and gets us out of here in the rapture and then kicks him out of heaven. He's got a condo overlooking Times Square. He's in a good spot. He's got servants to wait on him. He's going to lose that. I just saw water drip on my phone. Oh well. I'm going to pick my Bible up because I'm done reading. We can continue on with this. And I promised I will. I'll go ahead and we'll cover the rest of the Revelation. But it doesn't matter. We'll be out of here in Revelation 12. Everything after that, until we come back with the Lord, is just stuff for the world. It's to wake the world up. It's to shake them up. Yes, there's some that are going to be punished by it. But again, it's to wake them up too. Even those that aren't in the book of life, they're going to be punished for their behavior. But there may be some in there mixed in that group that have their name in the book of life, and he needs to get to them. Now it says when the pit's open, the fiery scorpion hornets or whatever they are going to go after those whose names are not written in the book. That you can tell people, because if they're not being tormented, then there's a chance for them. This is for the people that are left behind. Focus on those that aren't being tormented. If you're a Christian because you've accepted Christ after we've left, you won't be tormented. Talk to the other people that are not being tormented. That's a clue. We have a midterm rapture, but we got 3.5 years to get to that point. The two witnesses have to get down here and begin early ministry work, because they're down here for the length of that time too. We haven't seen them, or that they're here. They could be working in the background. Things are happening with the Temple Mount. They're beginning to get up there. The Jews are going up on the Temple Mount and praying. That would have caused World War III a year ago, 2 years ago. It's not happening. The big mouse liars that are running the religion, the earthly religion of Islam, know that they don't have a chance against God. They know they're lying, that the Temple Mount never belonged to them, doesn't belong to them, and that they need to get off of it. It's going to take the Antichrist to finally get that last little bit. But they shouldn't be up there. And I know that the general that helped win the wars in the early years of Israel gave them back the land. I guess he was inspired by God because it wasn't time yet. Well, I can tell you right now, it's time. Get off the Temple Mount, or you're going to start being punished. The two witnesses are going to punish the world until you finally give it up. And that's, of course, when the Antichrist will come in, deal with them, and cause peace, so-called peace. But it'll be short-lived, but it'll be so welcome that the world will welcome it, and they'll get their temple, and then here defile it. We know what's going to happen, Satan. Why are you even wasting the world's time? Just put your hands up, turn yourself into God, and just go away. You worthless creature. You are, well, I guess to God you're not completely worthless, so He get rid of you. You're the one that carries out the things that He can't do, the punishment on us that He can't do. God is so loving He can't punish us, so He keeps you around for that. To think that all you are to God is evil to be poured out on the world when it needs it. I look forward to your demise. And again, I can't talk to Him that way unless I know I've got Jesus sitting right next to me. And that's figurative. The Spirit of God is in us. We're the restrainer. And in hopes that we can make Him mad enough to start the Revelation 12 attack and get the rapture going, I'll talk to him like that publicly whenever I can, because he's a chicken, he's a coward, and I'm not talking about squab. He's a real chicken. He's afraid to do anything. He knows when he starts things, it's going to be the end for him. He wants to be a torment down here and not be, well, he's going to be put away for 1,000 years. He's not looking forward to that either. And after that, fiery pit. You and all your other cohorts that are stupid enough to follow you. Okay, enough picking on the bad guy. Thank you, Jesus, for taking care of us. Thank you for keeping him away from us. Protect us until it's time to get out of here. And if it's soon, help us to reach every last one. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, we're going to be out of here soon. I don't know. Just looking at the world, all the things that we see in the Bible that is talking about the end times, we're seeing them now. They're either happening or beginning to happen. We can't have the money thing until we get the digital currency. But that's in the process of being worked out right now. Now, the Antichrist is not going to share that with the harlot. So he's going to have to kill the harlot. And that's part of the end time war stuff going on. I don't know how much of that we're going to see. But we know it's not going to be good for the world, which means we probably want to be out of here. Till we meet in the clouds, God bless. I'm filming my bee footage first. It is raining, not real hard, but it is raining. I am seated underneath a tarp, which is dry, but it doesn't cover the whole bench. So I am just kind of hunkering down here. I've got to get my video out. So I'm just going to sit here and try to do a Bible study. If you can hear the rain, hopefully I can talk loud enough to be over it. Let's see what we can do with that. Okay. Blessings.